The tariff announcement will come tomorrow. They will be effective immediately. And the president has been teasing this for quite some time, as you know. He's talked a lot about April 2nd as Liberation Day in America. It would be taking place today if not for April Fool's Day. But tomorrow will be the day, and he's been talking about it for a while. And as a result, you've seen these companies make commitments to investing right here in the United States.
Yes, Liberation Day. It's April 2nd. President Trump didn't want to have it on Monday because it's April Fool's Day. Yes, I didn't even do any April Fool's Day jokes yesterday because I'm not 9 years old. I think that could be it. Or you might be a member of the Three Stooges. That could. Yes, sir. And a very good Wednesday to you. It's Hump Day. Hump Day, and reminded this morning by Michael, it's Mailbag Day. Are we going to get to it today, Michael? Because I have to throw baseballs at you throughout the course of the day. Because I'm going to blame you. I'm going to blame you. We are, of course, at 888-630-9625. And I've got to tell you, the Democrat Party, you might not have seen it, but Alec Baldwin, he used to be an actor, and then he shot and killed a cinematographer on the set of a movie. Did that movie ever come out? Was that a good movie? Anything happened? Did anybody lose money on that? Because I'd hate to see him lose money. But Alec Baldwin posted a video of himself talking about the state of the country. He's a political philosopher, and he probably wants a show on MSDNC, and they might give him one, too. With his daughter, maybe. That'd be a lot of laughs, because I don't think they talk to each other, but it's not much of a talk network anyway. And in any event, Alec Baldwin posted a video talking about how the country, he believes, is in a pre-Civil War state. We're in a state, and then he explained why he thinks that. He said he went to his television set, he turned it on, presumably using a remote control, and he stumbled across Ken Burns. It's a documentary. He called it a mini-series. He called it because everything to him is like Roots or something like that. But he said that Ken Burns mini-series about the Civil War, and he said, bam, he slapped himself in the forehead with the heel of his hand, and he said, and then I realized after watching this PBS, funded, taxpayer-funded, Ken Burns, he flies around private jets because of taxpayer funding, made a documentary series or two, and he's amazing stuff. So he watched that, and then he realized, gosh, we're in a pre-Civil War state in the United States of America. And Michael Piercy and I were talking about this morning, and so you guys should probably stop shooting people and firebombing stuff then. And mob street violence against everyone with whom you disagree. Then you just have your day of demented, mentally ill rage on Saturday against Elon Musk and Tesla. And oh, yes, you did. You did. Have you guys showered since then? I'm just curious because I know you, generally speaking, don't smell very good. And I live in Washington, D.C., so that's an ongoing problem. When you're not smelling the pot smoke wafting through the air, it's really the smelly rabble of the Democrat Party, the violent, criminal Democrat Party. So Alec Baldwin talking about a pre-Civil War state. And there's a story out today because I talked about it yesterday. The Justice Department and our Attorney General, Pam Bondi, talking about Luigi Mangione, who murdered, assassinated the health insurance CEO on a sidewalk in New York City, targeted, laid in wait, stroked him out, assassinated him, murdered him with, I think it was a Glock 19, 9mm pistol with a, what you might call a silencer, an arrestor, and murdered him, assassinated him on the sidewalk in New York because he worked for the health care industry, and Democrats are very angry with the health care industry, and he's a political assassin, and this is, he's not the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, but the Democrat Party really fanning the flames. You may remember that a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer, James Hodgkinson, shot and nearly killed Republican Congressman Steve Scalise on a baseball field. He wanted to mow down the whole baseball field of Republican members of Congress. And Donald Trump was shot and nearly assassinated at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And the Democrats had their day of rage against Elon Musk over the weekend. Elon Musk death threats are rolling in. And then this Maroon, this child-abusing, who else does he abuses, like news photographers on the sidewalk and stuff, Alec Baldwin. He was in two good movies, about 40 years ago, but that's not important. And he shot his cinematographer, which, might cut back on opportunities in the film industry ordinarily. But then again, maybe not. So we got that. But the Justice Department yesterday talking about the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. And the news story today is, oh no, President Trump and Republicans may lose the Gen Z vote if Luigi Mangione is convicted and if he's facing the death penalty, because Gen Z loves murder because they've been raised by the left, and nobody loves murder like the left does. So we got that. And at the same time, a story out of California, somebody walked into a Walgreens, that's a drugstore in California, and shot dead one of the employees there, and in Madeira, California. And it looks like it may be kind of a Luigi Mangione. Police are looking at it as a possible Luigi Mangione style murder, where the Walgreens employee was gunned down by a Democrat because the Democrat Party has created such hatred for the healthcare industry and big pharma. Anything they put the word big in front of, they hate. It's a big pharma, of course, saves more lives every year than their rotten to the core United Nations. But they love the United Nations because it will enslave the world and subjugate everyone under the hobnailed boot of the globalist totalitarian horde. But paying no attention to that. A man who was killed inside a Walgreens in Madeira, California on Monday evening has been identified by the Madeira Police Department as a store employee. Of course he was. Police say around 9:35 p.m. Night before last, they responded to shots fired inside the Walgreens. Is at 2020 West Cleveland Avenue. Upon arrival, responding officers reported locating the suspect, who is Narciso Gallardo Fernandez. He was reloading his handgun at the time when the police arrived. The Democrats want to defund the police, and they want to fund Narciso Gallardo Fernandez and give him more ammo, even though they want to take away your guns. They want the bad guys to have guns. Found him in the parking lot reloading, and they took him into custody without incident, even though, the Democrats. Investigators say they searched the pharmacy, found the shooting victim, suffered fatal gunshot wound. Other bystanders were found scattered inside the store, as you might expect. And then there's video because it's Walgreens and they have surveillance cameras and stuff. But detectives determined that Fernandez traveled from Pixley to Madeira and entered the store with a handgun. And in his pocket, he had it in his pocket. Fernandez then allegedly shot the victim, a store employee, before firing the gun at other employees as they fled the store, but only employees. He went to a Walgreens to Target, and they didn't even live in that town, so it's probably not went from Pixley to Madeira. So police are looking at it and saying, gee, I wonder if this is another, because the Democrat Party has made Luigi Mangione into one of their heroes, right? He's a rallying cry. Get the CEOs, they're successful, they worked hard, they're not crackheads that cheat on their wives with donkeys and stuff, and pretty amazing stuff. So, and police identified the shooting victim as Eric Velasquez, and Alec Velasquez shot and killed by this other guy who also has a Latin American name, but maybe he's an illegal alien gang member that the Democrats invited him. You know how they love illegal alien gang members? They just love them. Speaking of which, on the front page of the Washington Post, their lead story is, U.S. says migrant wrongly deported. Oh, no, a migrant has been wrongly deported. This is the MS-13 gang member, a front page, and they are championing the cause of the illegal alien MS-13 gang member, illegally in the country as an illegal alien, as a gang member of MS-13. And he was deported back to his own home country, and the entirety of the left is about to burn your Tesla over this. They should be a saying of some kind. It's like, well, burn my Tesla, like, well, raise my rent, and well, burn my Tesla. And they've got this that they lie, they misrepresent everything. They have Maria Sacchetti and Maria Luisa Paul writing the story because maybe they're gang member malls. That's what you used to call women that hung out with gangsters, malls. But officials refuse to ask El Salvador to return him. Washington Post wants the gang member returned from prison so they can let him loose in your daughter's junior high school shower room because that's today's Democrat Party. Very upset. I explained the story to you yesterday and shared this story with you. And even ABC fake news buried in their story had, they had a confidential informant in 2019 that identified him as an MS-13 member. And then the media says, but he married an American woman and he has a 5-year-old child. He's got a 5-year-old child, so that means the child was born after the confidential informant identified him as an illegal alien member of MS-13, illegally in the country as a gang member belonging to MS-13. I just want to repeat that because it's kind of important. And the Democrat Party, they champion that, just like they do Luigi Mangione. And now is the Luigi Mangione phenomenon. And again, now they're saying, if you go for the death penalty with Luigi Mangione, you'll lose Gen Z on election day. You lose an entire generation who have been raised to admire assassins and murderers. And again, Donald Trump was shot how long ago now in Butler, Pennsylvania? And how long ago was Congressman Steve Scalise shot by a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer? And now we've got the what do they call him? The cinematographer killer, Adam. They should make a movie about him, about the cinematographer killer. And he's out there. Well, he's not out there. He's in there sitting on his couch. A big, porcine, unathletic Alec Baldwin, talking about how we're in a pre-Civil War state in the United States. We got that friend. But we did start with the President Trump set to roll out sweeping Liberation Day tariffs. Liberation Day. We have that. Trump tariff plans, he's got plans, finalized as U.S. trade partners brace for impact. They're bracing for impact. This is because President Trump realize that I don't know how it's going to come out. I honestly don't. I'm not Jean Dixon. She was a psychic. But the tariffs, are they going to work? Are they going to level the playing field? Because what President Trump discovered is that the United States, over the years, we've cut trade deals, even with our allies, South Korea and Japan. And there's a terrible imbalance in our international trade. And that President Trump said, gee, for economic reasons, maybe we should have better trade deals. Trade deals that favor us, since we're now $36 trillion in debt. And it would take a million years to pay off our national debt if we started paying it off right now at $1 a second. 36 trillion seconds is more than 1 million years. And it would literally take us, and I use the word literally in this case, so often not the case in popular culture, but it would take more than 1 million years to pay off the $36 trillion national debt if we were paying it off at $1 per second, right? $60 per minute, and so on. You do the math from there. Remarkable stuff. But President Trump said, hey, maybe we should have better trade deals that benefit the United States instead of benefiting absolutely every other country in the world at our expense. Because for decades, the liberals and everybody said, well, we're the richest country in the world. We should be generous. Like, it's true. We're the most successful, hardworking, nose to the grindstone, successful country in the world. We should be generous to our partners. And now we're $36 trillion in debt. President Trump noticed that, unlike thousands of elected officials across the country. Amazing stuff. But so our trade partners brace for impact. Well, maybe we should have fair trade deals with our friends and allies for starters. Just saying. We've got GOP bolsters House majority, retaining 2 seats in Florida. The 2 House seats in Florida, talked about yesterday, won quite handily. But in Wisconsin, the communists won the race for the Supreme Court, so the left still holds on. So now they're going to try to upend the House of Representatives in Washington. I've got Jonathan Turley for you on that today. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Cory Booker took a break from groping men and spoke for a long, long time on the Senate floor. He broke the record set by the Democrat segregationist, racist Strom Thurmond at the time he was a Democrat racist. We've got that. And we have also another headline here. Other moronic Democrats. We're at 888-630-9625. Lots of news today.
Raise my rent.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Virginia Beltway late crash, inner loop before the Springfield Mixing Bowl. 2 right lanes get by. So as you come off the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, watch for those delays. 50 Arlington Boulevard inbound at Annandale Road for crash cleanup on the Virginia side of the Chain Bridge. Crash cleanup ongoing. This is really making for a difficult trip coming out of McLean on Chain Bridge Road and Glebe Road. District Ohio Drive near 23rd Street coming off of the Memorial Circle for crash activity. Now from Garage Door Repair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a high near 60. Scattered showers late tonight, low 42.
If you've never had a chip cooked in beef tallow, get ready. Masa chips are made the old school way. No seed oils, no weird ingredients, just real food, corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed tallow. The crunch is insane, the taste is real, and you actually feel good after eating them, because staying on top of your game starts with what you put in your body. Go to MasaChips.com and use code MM30 for 30% off your first order. Masa Chips. Real ingredients, unreal crunch.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent 4-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Award-winning series from Imperative Entertainment. Boomtown, In the Red Clay. Deviltown, Fox Hunter, In the Land of Lies. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
The Cumulus Podcast Network is driving the competition.
I'm parked right next to the TV truck, and it's just Steve Austin's head looking at me. Taking pictures, sent it to Steve. He hit me back with a WTF, kid.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal Race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Blowing out your birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
WMAL, making sense of education, because what's happening in your kid's school matters. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Yeah, the lead story in the Washington Post today on a U.S. says migrant wrongly deported. It's they were choosing the jury yesterday, weren't they? In the Rachel Morin rape and murder in Maryland by was he a Tren de Aragua gang member or an MS-13? Oh, he was an MS-13 gang member that is now on trial, not yet found guilty, but guilty as hell. That raped and murdered the mother of 5. The Democrats want more of that, and they just and everybody on the radio, on the TV, in the papers, the Democrat media, they're rushing to defend this illegal alien gang member. And I shared with you the story yesterday, and I shared the ABC news story where they buried about 40 paragraphs down in their 41-paragraph story. That confidential informant informed the federal government in 2019, before he had his child, who is now 5 years old, that he's an MS-13 gang member. But our government is also too often a donkey show. And so he wasn't deported. And then he, how shall I put it delicately, knocks up an American woman and has a 5-year-old child. And all the news media, I read an NPR story today that made me guffaw, spit, and laugh a little bit. Just amazing. They're all like, oh, he's a husband and a father. Yeah, and a tattooed gang member of MS-13 from El Salvador. And the Democrats, they will fight for murderers, from Luigi Mangione to this MS-13 gang member, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Right. Who is Salvadoran, the Washington Post says. On March 15th, as part of a surprise airlift, it wasn't a surprise airlift, it was a flight to deport illegal alien gang members, and the Democrats are their champions.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late crash on the outbound side of the Chain Bridge, Virginia side of the bridge. Now traffic cautiously getting by, one lane in each direction, but we're really jammed on Chain Bridge Road and coming off of Glebe Road out of McLean. Major tie-ups on the Virginia Beltway inner loop. The crash that caused all the delays right as you come up to the Springfield Mixing Bowl, that's been cleared, but it's given us delays coming off of the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Now watch in the backups right near Van Doren Street and getting reports of a new crash. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a high near 60. Scattered showers late tonight, low 42.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back on the Give Them Lala podcast.
It's very a lot. You want the headline? Here is my interview with Vicky Gunvalson. Who did the biggest number on you? I'm not friends with Chandler anymore, which is fine. Do you feel like you guys can repair? No. Stick to what you know.
Iconic.
Absolutely fantastic. It is like the Super Bowl every episode. Give Them Lala. Unhinged, but also amazing TV.
Get ready.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Program.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, will you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court. You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA, but also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley. I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor. Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner. Knicks fan. So, now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together. The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here, getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
So let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil. I wish you health, physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, and most definitely spiritual. Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret.
But hear me when I say this. Believe in something. Believe in yourself. That, more than anything, is absolutely women's work. This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
4 years ago today, a crazy Democrat attack on the Capitol. It was a deadly attack on the Capitol, unlike January 6th, where only Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed after serving 12 years in the Air Force by a U.S. Capitol Police officer. But that's not important now, is it? I'm going to get to that story. And it's mailbag day today, too. Sorry, got some heated stuff going on today, and I apologize for that, but I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up for you. Let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Donnie calling from the great state of Georgia. Donnie, you're on the Chris Platt Show.
Hey, I just think that a lot of people don't understand the national debt, and I put it in terms like if I had an income of $100,000 and $30,000 is going to pay my credit card interest, I repeat, interest, then I'd have a problem. And as an adult, I'd have to figure out we need to cut things, we need to stop spending on frivolous stuff, etc. Also, the people that don't want to deport these illegals, how about letting ICE bring several dozen of them to their home? The judges, the council members, and mayors of the sanctuary city, etc. Just let them have a few of them, and I think they might change their mind.
Well, I'm 100% in favor and have been forever of taking all the illegal alien gang members that the Democrats so desperately want to keep inside of our borders and put them in downtown Manhattan or in San Francisco and put on Martha's Vineyard. I got to say, Donnie, the most brilliant move ever was just putting one plane load of illegal aliens on Martha's Vineyard. The Democrats called out the military. They rounded them all up, brought them to a military base on Cape Cod, where I think they rifle butted them all to death. That was a terrible thing. You're 100% right. The amount of debt that we're paying on our $36 trillion national debt, I believe, is the number one cost to the American taxpayer every year now, more than the U.S. military budget, more than Social Security, just paying the interest on the national debt of $36 trillion. And President Trump and Elon Musk, God forbid, want to change that, want to clean that up, want to make it better for the American taxpayer, for the United States government, for capitalism itself, for the world. And the left in the United States, and the Democratic Party isn't democratic, and they aren't liberals, they are leftists. And I've got to say, you know, that they are here to cause damage, and they are causing damage, aren't they? Everywhere you look, the Democrats are causing damage. And we've got Alec Baldwin, I'm going to play this for you today, talking about how we're in a pre-Civil War state. It just occurred to him because he's a moron, and he watched Ken Burns' documentary, which he called a miniseries on the Civil War, and he's like, hey, wait a minute. Honestly, I got to tell you, Donnie, you've got common sense. And another one of my sayings, you may be aware, common sense isn't. You know, as I say in the military, friendly fire isn't, because it isn't friendly. Common sense.
Wonderful.
And the Democratic Party isn't democratic. And what is it with the illegal aliens? Why do they want all these illegal aliens in the country, not including gang members? They want to bring gang members back to the United States that have been deported from the United States. They're like, oh, he's got a child in Maryland. Well, that's not really a heavy lift, you know, having a child. Somebody else actually had it. A woman, probably, with ovaries and a womb and things. But the Democrats are confused about that, too. The Democrat Party is, if they ever had a mind, Donnie, they've lost their collective mind.
Yes, but again, I would say on the national debt, if we said our credit card interest is eating up 30% of our income, maybe they would understand a little bit, but I think a lot of people just shrug when you hear national debt.
No, you're absolutely right. You're 100% right, Donnie, and that's, you know, and look, the Republicans haven't been doing great work on this either. I'm glad to see Elon Musk and Doge taking this on, and they're firebombing Tesla dealerships. Literally, that's not an embellishment. They literally firebombing anything having to do with Elon Musk. They had a I Hate Elon Musk Day on Saturday, less than a week ago. They're out of their minds. Donnie, thank you for the call, and keep thinking for yourself. Difficult though that may be for so many people in America. We call them Democrats. Oh, and whether you hear about the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin, that's coming up this morning as well. Remarkable stuff. Also, you may have seen that the Hollywood actor Val Kilmer has died at the age of 65. His daughter says by pneumonia. He's been fighting all kinds of health issues for years now. 65, Val Kilmer. He was in Top Gun, which was a really fun movie because the fighter jets and the aircraft carriers and stuff, you know, and what's not fun about that? So we've got that. Also, we got Al Gore. Is Al Gore leaving the United States? The corpulent Al Gore may be fleeing the United States because he found that there's warmer weather elsewhere. He wants to go where the weather is warm, I assume. Is that right? He wants to go to where the weather is warm, Al Gore?
This is for real. It is not made up.
It's not made up. And so if you can't believe him, who can believe? Now, I was just talking about all the crazy. And again, a young man murdered in a Walgreens by A Democrat that walked in with a handgun, opened fire, murdered a young Walgreens employee in California. And apparently the gunman, police have found that the gunman did not know the Walgreens employee. They say that police say Fernandez and Velasquez did not know each other, and that there are no known ties between Fernandez and the city of Madera. So Fernandez went to the city of Madera, California, found a Walgreens, walked in and opened fire on the employees, and only the employees, not the customers, not the people shopping there. So is this another Luigi Mangione Democrat Party inspired moment, as so many violent political acts are, that is to say, Democrat inspired? And speaking of which, a friend of mine, police officer friend of mine, Steve, texted me this morning and said, today is the 4th anniversary of the political murder of a U.S. Capitol police officer at the United States Capitol. You may be aware that on January 6th, where there was a dust-up up there on Capitol Hill, and it was bad, and they still haven't found the guy that left the pipe bombs the day before at the RNC headquarters and the DNC headquarters. Maybe Dan Bongino will be able to clean up that mystery for us now that he's the deputy at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That'd be nice. But you may remember that Lieutenant Byrd shot and killed Ashley Babbitt without warning and without using any non-lethal means. And the Democrats applauded. They gave him awards. They gave him a medal. They gave him, he benefited financially. Yay, keep killing the white women who serve in the Air Force for 12 years. The Democrat is the only person that died on January 6th. Although you remember Joe Biden lied repeatedly like a psychopath that, what did he say, 6 police officers were killed that day? Because the Democrats lie about everything, and then the news media, they don't say, hey, that's not true, because they don't follow the news. They don't know what's in it. They're insane. But it was 4 years ago today that a young Capitol Hill police officer was murdered by a black nationalist, racist Democrat inspired by the Democrat Party 4 years ago today, when Noah Green, a black nationalist, murdered U.S. Capitol Police Officer Billy Evans, and terribly wounded another police officer by crashing his car into them, pinning him between the pop-up barricades, the car barricades, and the car that he killed him, and that he used to kill one police officer and severely wound another. Then he jumped out of his car and attacked the police with a knife. And I got to tell you, your Democrat Party, that was 4 years ago today, April 2nd of 2021. So your Democrat Party was January 6th, 2021, where Ashley Babbitt was killed. Then April 2nd, 2021, where Noah Green, a militant black nationalist racist, showed up and murdered police officer William Evans and wounded a second police officer, deliberately rammed his car into a police barricade, a pop-up barricade outside the United States Capitol. That's in Washington, D.C. That's where we keep it. Man, oh, man. And Green was shot and later died at the hospital from the gunshot wounds. So it was a suicide attack. He attacked the police. He murdered one, severely wounded another, got out of his car, attacked the police with a giant knife that he had just bought at a nearby market that liberals find to be a fascinating place to go. And this market in Northeast D.C. Green shared his extremist viewpoints, right, which he had advanced by the Nation of Islam and other black nationalists prior to committing the attack on the Capitol. And that was 4 years ago today. And that's like a non-news story for the Democrats. It's like the assassin showed up outside the home of Brett Kavanaugh, about a mile from this radio station right now. Again, Congressman Steve Scalise shot by a Bernie Sanders volunteer and nearly killed. along with the entire Republican congressional baseball team that he wanted to kill. Ron DeSantis was there that day, as a matter of fact, and left shortly before the shooting. U.S. Capitol Police forced to gun down James Hodgkinson when he showed up on that suicide attack. Donald Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, and nearly assassinated by a gunman who had to be taken out by a U.S. Secret Service counter sniper. And the Democrat Party, Now, with that, I think I want to get to Alec Baldwin, who's a Hollywood actor. And he was in Hunt for Red October and Workin' Girl. Those are good movies, I thought. Hunt for Red October, certainly a great movie. And Workin' Girl, Let the Rivers Flow. That's a fun movie, too. But let's go to Alec Baldwin, who posted a video of himself that he said, hey, wait a minute, I'm so stupid. I must be a liberal. I'm a Hollywood actor. I turned on the TV, and there was a 25-year-old documentary on, made by Ken Burns about the Civil War. And then I realized it struck me like a diamond bullet that we're in kind of a tough spot in the United States right now. Here is the once perfectly good actor, Alec Baldwin.
Something led my hand to pick up the remote and turn on my television and watch Ken Burns' famous miniseries.
Famous.
And boy, you can see now that we are in a pre-Civil War culture now.
Pre-Civil War culture now. Boy, he was watching Ken Burns' 25-year-old series on the American Civil War, which the Democrat Party started, and their president, Jefferson Davis of the Confederate States of America, with their plantations and their slavery and their bullwhips and their hanging trees, the Democrat Party, and they created the White Knights, the KKK. Alec Baldwin, he's a historian. How's that cinematographer that he shot and killed? Did she get better? She is history. That's true. She could end up in the next Ken Burns documentary.
This incredible story. Awful that this country had to go through that.
You think?
And I look at the politics of it, of where people are in this country today, in the division, and they're holding fast, and no one's going to falter. No one's going to break or compromise, and it's bad.
Maybe you guys should, and it's bad. Maybe you guys should stop violently attacking everyone in mobs. Maybe you should stop defending illegal alien gang members and Hamas and anti-Semites, and while they're chasing all the Jewish students and faculty off of campus, they're ironically calling everyone else Nazis. Isn't that wackadoodle-doo? Yes, it is. And Alec Baldwin, he's suddenly a revered historian. That reminds me of my favorite presidential historian, Michael Beschloss, who loves to, when he said that if Republicans won the midterm elections, that the Republicans would kill your children.
What was at stake tonight and this week was the fact whether we will be a democracy in the future, whether our children will be arrested and conceivably killed. We're on the edge of a brutal authoritarian system, and it could be a week away.
And that because the Republicans, that historian Michael Beschloss, he was on MSDNC or CNN when he said that. One or the other, doesn't make any difference. They're the same thing. But there it is. And Alec Baldwin, he's a boy. You can see now we're in a pre-Civil War culture. See, and when they describe things back then politically, there are profound differences, of course, in terms of just history and age, and you know what life was like back then, as the Democrats with their plantations. And then the first Republican president ever was elected, Abraham Lincoln, after the slaves were freed in the Emancipation Proclamation, which was actually an executive order by Abraham Lincoln. The Democrats, they found somebody, John Wilkes Booth, to go shoot him in the head at a theater in Washington, D.C., because they wanted to kill him. So they did. But Alec Baldwin, he's suddenly keen on history.
Watching this show really reminded me of how we are in a very similar state now, in a pre-Civil War culture, in a pre-Civil War environment.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Well, you guys should stop rioting and looting and shooting CEOs and maybe Walgreen employees, and because the Democrats have turned people against big pharma and insurance. That they call it big pharma. It's the pharmaceutical company. Again, save more lives than the UN and France combined. But never mind that. Not counting that penicillin thing that came out of there, but that's wow. I gotta tell you. Hey, start paying attention, Alec Baldwin. You should start listening to this show. Call in. I'll put you on hold for 3 hours. And we'll have your daughter call in on the other line. Let her talk.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late delays on 395 northbound, the crash before the 14th Street Bridge after the Pentagon, and it's late delays crossing the Woodrow Wilson Bridge as you come out of Maryland into Virginia. Beltway's jam through Alexandria. The initial crash that caused the big delays near the Springfield Mixing Bowl, that's been cleared, but we had one reported in the backups after Telegraph Road. Maryland Beltway heavy merging off the 270 spur to the American Legion Bridge. A couple vehicles on the right shoulder. Now from Garage Door Repair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny and breezy today with a high near 60. Scattered showers late tonight, low 42.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing. No more complications. Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
The Sean Ryan Show presents Peak Points. Get timeless inspiration from the very best of The Sean Ryan Show.
September 11 happens. What is the first thing that went through your head? September 12th, I'm going back in the military.
Talk about being recruited by the cartel. How do you coach? Learning how to find a new normal.
One of the most tragic events in American firefighter history. You know what comes after.
You have this beautiful life. You have these horrible experiences, yes, but you can do something with them for the greater good.
The Sean Ryan Show Peak Points. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it.
I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected. WMAL, making sense of the forecast, because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right, let's go back to the telephones, Michael. Let's see. Let's go to Mike calling from Sunshine, Maryland. It sounds so nice there. Michael, you're on the Chris Plank Show.
Chris, thank you for taking my call. It is nice and sunshine. We were talking about liberals being violent, which is, pretty regular. I can't help but not forget about Willem von Spronson. Sandy Cortez went down to the southern border and said there were concentration camps down there and that we needed a final solution. And within a couple of days, Willem von Spronson went to an ICE facility in Tacoma, Washington, attacked it, and he was shot dead. We can't forget about him or another wonderful liberal, Micah X. Johnson. He killed 5 police officers, injured 9, wounded 2 civilians. So, yeah.
Dallas, you're talking about the Dallas Black Lives Matter massacre.
Yeah, yes. But Willem von Spronson,
and that was a suicide attack, too.
Yes. They were all, it seems like they want to go out and blaze glory.
Well, that's right. There was another suicide attack on police in Baton Rouge, the suicide attack on police, U.S. Capitol, suicide attack on officers Ramos and Liu in New York, and the killer from Maryland went to a nearby train, a subway station in New York, and killed himself, shot himself in the head. The Democrat Party has had more suicide attacks in the U.S. than Al-Qaeda has.
Yep. But Willem von Spronson, Tacoma, Washington, he was going to blow up a big tank there, and his gun jammed, and they shot him dead.
Again, we've got the jury selection going on in Maryland for the illegal alien Salvadoran gang member, MS-13 member, who raped and murdered mother of 5, Rachel Morin. That's going on today. The Democrats don't care. The media doesn't care. They, based on their actions and their deeds, this is what they want more of. And if you raise an eyebrow, raise it as an issue, then you become the target of their ire, just like Elon Musk and Tesla's.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. The countdown is on to 4 this afternoon after the markets close, when we'll hear President Trump's plans for reciprocal tariffs.
The White House has said it's already seen evidence this strategy is going to work, including from billions of dollars of private investment coming back into the country. They're telling anyone that's been spooked by what they've seen with the jitteriness in the stock market that this policy is ultimately going to return production to America, generate more American jobs, and also more tax revenue. There are several unknowns, including how the White House plans to structure this. According to some reports, the president has considered a flat 20% as a way to generate more revenue.
Fox News' Jackie Heinrich, the Dale City man who is claimed by the Trump administration to be the top MS-13 leader on the East Coast, was in court for a hearing Tuesday.
Henry Villatoro Santos made his first court appearance yesterday, where he waived his right to a detention hearing. The next step is a grand jury hearing. He was arrested last week in Prince William County and charged with being in the U.S. illegally and having a gun.
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. Santos has not been charged yet with any gang activity, and court documents say some of the firearms equipment seized from his home was likely for use for an airsoft rifle that shoots BBs, not bullets. While other counties consider property tax hikes to close budget gaps, Loudoun County residents are going to get a tax break.
The budget approved by the Board of Supervisors Tuesday includes a real property tax rate of 8 cents per $100 of assessed value, 6 cents lower than the current rate. That will decrease the average homeowner's property tax bill by $57 annually. Administrator Tim Hemstreet saying in February,
growth in data center real property continues to reduce the pressure on the residential tax base to fund the growth of services,
allowing the county to decrease the real property tax rate while boosting school funding and increasing first responder pay. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Virginia lawmakers return for a one-day session to Richmond. Among the issues, deciding penalties for drug crimes.
A bill to permit prosecutors to charge dealers with involuntary manslaughter in the case of fentanyl-laced deaths received bipartisan support during the last session. But Governor Glenn Youngkin sent the bill back, amending the charge to felony homicide. Democrat Delegate Josh Thomas of Prince William County is behind the bill. He told 7 News.
I was surprised and incredibly disappointed. I mean, this was a bill that was heavily negotiated.
As the reconvened session starts, lawmakers can approve the governor's request or send it back to him for another try at passage. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The U.S. Naval Academy has removed nearly 400 books from its library after being told by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's office to review and get rid of ones that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Academy started its book review last week and initially came up with 900 titles before narrowing that list down to the 400 mark. They finished their work in time for Hegseth's visit to Annapolis Tuesday. Pentagon spokesman says all service academies are fully committed to executing and implementing President Trump's executive orders. Checking your money. The Dow is down 81 points at this hour. The NASDAQ up 5. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court. You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA, and also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley.
I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor.
Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner.
Knicks fan.
So now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together.
The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
If you've never had a chip cooked in beef tallow, get ready. Masa chips are made the old school way. No seed oils, no weird ingredients, just real food, corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed tallow. The crunch is insane, the taste is real, and you actually feel good after eating them. But staying on top of your game starts with what you put in your body. Go to masachips.com and use code MM30 for 30% off your first order. Masa Chips, real ingredients, unreal crunch.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now?
Ooh, I got Jeff and I got Vader, two middle-aged, almost middle-aged, under middle-aged scrubs, no job. They live at home with their mother. This includes you too, Will Durant, by the way, because you guys have no license because you don't know how, you can't handle your booze. You don't know how to work well with other people. You're in these fucking chats every day. Jeff Holler telling me to get a job. That's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic, Jeff. Stuck right up JC's ass. Stuck right up Shannon's ass. You guys shouldn't even be in these chats during these hours. You should be fucking working. What kind of fucking job can you have where you're in a YouTube chat all day long? I'm fucking retired. When I was your age, I didn't have time to fucking do this shit. I was always at work. Always. I work 6 days a fucking week. I sometimes 7 every day. Never complain. Go to work sick. You fuckers don't know what sacrifice is. Jeff has. Oh, I got anxiety. I gotta take my medication. Fucking bunch of lazy scrub. To me, a scrub is somebody who works in a hospital. Well, you guys, this thing with scrub means bum. What's the matter, Paul? Your trolling isn't working on Billy Hayden? Huh? You guys trying to get me to block you and I don't block you? It's fucking senseless for me to block anybody and keep them blocked. It's senseless. You're such a fucking dork. Paul bitch life. What a fucking punk you are. Hey, Dougie, I don't like your friend from overseas, this fucking Paul guy. All those fuckers that you're all friends with, dog, they're a bunch of motherfuckers. Just shows what kind of character you have, Doug.
Oh, man.
Do you ever stop crying? Do you ever stop crying? Do you ever stop crying, Paul? You're the crier, Paul. You're in my chat crying. Why are you even in my chat? If nobody likes me, why are you here, Paul? Why? Just why? Hey, you think you're going to make me mad? I'm already mad. You're a dumb fucker, Paul. You really are.
Waltz, the National Security Advisor. Waltz,
there, go brag. I timed you out. Go ahead, make another post.
Draws flags on security. They're going after. It's what the news media does. They go after.
You guys have nothing. You have no standing whatsoever.
Individuals. They try to imprison everyone because they're leftists and they're
fucking.
But they tried the signal game.
Dumb motherfuckers.
Then Cory Booker, Democrat, the groping Democrat senator from New Jersey. He had a filibuster that they didn't call a filibuster on the floor of the Senate where he spoke for how long? More than 24 tedious, boring, uninteresting hours because he wanted to break the record of Democrat racist Senator Strom Thurmond, who in 1957 filibustered endlessly more than 24 hours against the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. And the Democrat racist later became, he gave up racism and then he had to leave the Democrat Party and become a Republican, which he did late in life. But as a Democrat, he fought against and opposed the Civil Rights Act. And Cory Booker went to the Senate floor. He was proud to break the record because Strom Thurmond had the record for the longest filibuster in the history of the Senate. And Cory Booker took some time out from groping him and stood on the Senate floor and babbled incoherently. And he thought that was going to be a big deal. And, who cares, honestly? What were you talking about? He was opposing Elon Musk, who is, as properties are being firebombed and shot up with rifles by Democrats because they're violently, criminally insane. If you're a Democrat, I want to know what's wrong with you people. What is the matter with you? And we are at 888-630-9625. Now, Signalgate was supposed to bring everybody down. And they were like, Gates is going to have to, everybody's going to have to step down because, they used an app that was recommended very highly by the Biden administration. And the memos have now emerged of the Biden administration telling all their officials to use Signal to communicate, but never mind that. And the Democrats, that would be the media, masquerading as journalists, but now they wanted Michael Waltz, the Army colonel, decorated combat veteran, special forces guy, a member of the House of Representatives who became the National Security Advisor. They demanded, pounding the table, that he must resign because he used an app that the Biden administration used up the yin-yang and recommended that everybody use because, they're just amazing. And who else did they? They wanted the CIA director to resign. They wanted everybody to resign. They're demanding because they're the party of chaos and Molotov cocktails and fire bombings and rifles shooting up Tesla dealership. Did you see the lady last night? Or was it in Boston? Where the lady looks like an African-American lady, found a big heavy brick, saw a Tesla, and smashed out the window, the back window of a Tesla parked on the street, because that's what the Democrat Party has been encouraging, recommending, advocating for. And the violence against Tesla and Elon Musk is everywhere. I shared with you the ridiculous story yesterday of the idiot that rented a Tesla and drove around D.C. just to take notes on, by the way, reporter guy, they have cameras in those cars. All those people flipping you off and throwing things at you and calling you mean names. That's all on video that they, as far as I know, have not published yet. But Walt's team, Gmail use draws flags on security because the Democrats they're very concerned about national security. Whose national security, we don't know, but not the United States of America. Remarkable stuff. Our Democrat Party. So they wanted Signalgate, and that didn't work out as planned. And Cory Booker wanted to break then racist Democrat Senator Strom Thurmond's record for a filibuster on the floor of the Senate. But technically, they say this was not a filibuster. So I don't think it actually breaks the record, does it? And that kind of, so he's a loser again, Cory Booker. Isn't he amazing? Do you have Cory Booker? Because he was on Rachel Maddow last night. And he went on CNN too, right? So he's like, I was so long I didn't drink water for days, so I didn't have to go tinky wink in a little boy's room. I didn't have to leave. I didn't eat anything, so we don't want to talk about that. And he stood on the Senate floor forever and ever, and he babbled.
To be candid, Strom Thurmond's record always kind of just really irked me. That he would be the longest speech. That the longest speech on our great Senate floor was someone who was trying to stop people like me from being in the Senate. So to surpass that was something I didn't know if we could do, but it was something that was really, once we got closer, became more and more important to me.
Once we got close, it became more and more important to beat Strom Thurmond's record. Now, nobody on the Rachel Maddow show mentioned that Strom Thurmond was a Democrat at the time, and later became a Republican when he gave up racism the way that he did. But as a Democrat in 1957, he filibustered against the Civil Rights Act and spent more than 24 hours there. 1957, 24 hours and 18 minutes. And now Cory Booker is like, I really, and nobody, not Rachel Maddow. And she, Ivy League and Rhodes Scholar, and where they pay her $25 million a year to lie and do propaganda. And Strom Thurmond, a Democrat at the time, wanted to prevent the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But now the Democrat who doesn't know that Strom Thurmond was a Democrat and a racist, because they're all racist, and just amazing stuff. Now he's like, I've spoken for longer on the floor. Okay, that's great. Was it a filibuster? No, it wasn't a filibuster. So now he's using vague language. It was the longest speech on the Senate floor. But Strom Thurmond still holds the record for the longest filibuster, as the Democrats were opposing the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Isn't that great? And Cory Booker on Rachel Maddow last night. I'm so excited I was able to break the record for the longest speech on the Senate floor. Yeah, because he was trying to prevent people like, your party, who kept women from getting the vote for about 20 years, obstructing Republican efforts to pass the 19th Amendment. And the Democrats successfully stopped women from getting the vote for decades. The Democrats, they created the Confederate States of America. That's a clue as to what they're all about. You guys are amazing. Not the brightest people in the world. Very excited about that. Yeah, but the Democrats now, the Cory Booker filibuster over whatever. I hate Elon Musk, and I really don't like Donald Trump either. Yeah, you guys should stop firebombing cars and smashing out windows and scratching Nazis, swastikas on anything, given that you guys are the ones terrorizing Jews across America and scaring them off of Ivy League college campuses and anywhere you can find them. I read the stories about Jews being attacked in Los Angeles, sitting at cafes outside. It's all Democrats driving the train on this. And if we had a news media, they would cover it that way, but we don't. Now the Democrats are on a new jihad, and their new jihad is that they really want to get this MS-13 gang member back from a prison in El Salvador because they love MS-13 gang members being in the United States. And they're pretending, oh no, he's married and he has a 5-year-old child, like MS-13 members can't inseminate women. And women have ovaries and wombs, and they're biological women, and Democrats don't know what that means, including their Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Aren't they amazing? Yeah, so they switched their jihad with great ease from Signalgate to We Hate Elon Musk to Let's Save MS-13 gang members and get them back into the United States, because the Democrats, they are really some. Now, Caroline Leavitt yesterday at the White House press briefing was asked about the MS-13 gang member that the Democratic Party has circled their wagons for, and they really want to get more MS-13 back in the country. Never mind the MS-13 gang member on trial for the rape and murder of Rachel Morin, the mother of 5 in Maryland. The Democrat Party, by way of their actions, their deeds, clearly want more of that, and they'll probably get more of that. We know they'll get more because they waived all the gangs in and opened the border. And who do you think's coming in? Bunch of priests? Honestly, school teachers? The Democrat Party is the biggest lie ever told. Aren't they amazing? But Caroline Leavitt was asked about this MS-13 gang member being deported from the United States, sent to El Salvador, where he comes from. And again, I was reading you the ABC News story yesterday. We're buried way down deep in the ABC News story. We discovered that in 2019, before his 5-year-old child was born, when he should have been deported, he was identified by fellow MS-13 gang members, a confidential informant to law enforcement, as a member of MS-13. And then he was rounded up in a Home Depot parking lot with other members of MS-13 and at least one other member of the MS-13 gang at the Home Depot parking lot identified him as an MS-13 gang member. I'm going to guess that the tattoos on his body identify him as an MS-13 gang member. And the Democrats are pounding the table. You're going to burn your Tesla. They're going to smash your windows if you don't bring this gangster back and let him loose, because that's what the Democrat Party today represents. That's what they stand for. Caroline Leavitt, White House Press Secretary Extraordinaire, was asked about it yesterday.
The administration has expressed a complete confidence in how all the deportation flights to El Salvador were conducted. But now that the administration has conceded that there was an error of one Salvadoran national, will there be any reviews conducted? And does the president express any
stop all gang deportation
that was disclosed in court last night?
Listen, frou. And I don't know who that fake reporter is, but he should probably be barred. He should be deported. He should be sent to that prison in El Salvador. And amazing. Caroline Leavitt had a correction or two.
Well, first of all, the error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization.
Why would that be a problem? The Democrats like, yeah, so what? Can't I have him shower with my 13-year-old daughter?
This individual was an MS-13 ringleader. This individual was also engaged in human trafficking. And I'm glad you brought up this point again, because I would like to point out that if you just saw the headline from the insane failing Atlantic magazine this morning, you would think this individual was Father of the Year, living in Maryland, living a peaceful life, when that couldn't be further from the truth.
Again, Home Depot parking lot with other MS-13 members. Oh, yeah, he's with us. He's 2019 confidential informant to law enforcement. Oh, yeah, he's MS-13. And the Democrats just ignore reality and facts and what is obviously true because they prefer to live in a gangster's paradise. It's kind of a fun song, I've got to say that. Coolio, that's a fun song. Gangster's paradise. That's what the Democrats are trying to turn the United States into. Hey, are you a yo-yo dieter? Do you diet, lose weight, then gain it all back plus a few pounds? Breaking free of your yo-yo diet pattern is one of the main reasons that doctors created Lean from Brickhouse Nutrition. It's a supplement. It's not an injection. You don't have to give yourself shots. You don't need a prescription from a doctor. Lean targets weight loss in 3 powerful ways. It helps you maintain healthy blood sugar levels. It helps to control appetite and cravings. And it helps burn fat by converting fat into energy. That's a good idea. Listen, if you're tired of losing weight and gaining it all back again, Lean was created for you. And let me get you started with 20% off of Lean when you enter Plant20, Plante. Why is there an E? Nobody knows. And 20. Plant20 at takelean.com. Now, that's the code, Plant20 at takelean.com. The statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease and is not a substitute or alternative for care from a healthcare provider. The Democrat Party really is criminally insane and violent everywhere you look. Suicide attacks, more than Al-Qaeda in the United States. They haven't even killed as many people yet as Al-Qaeda. What with September 11th and everything, and now Coolio with Gangster's Paradise.
There's only one Chris Platt. The Chris Platt Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
If you've never had a chip cooked in beef tallow, get ready. Masa chips are made the old school way. No seed oils, no weird ingredients, just real food, corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed tallow. The crunch is insane, the taste is real, and you actually feel good after eating them because staying on top of your game starts with what you put in your body. Go to masachips.com and use code MM30 for 30% off your first order. Masa Chips. Real ingredients, unreal crunch.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
From
Don't miss the U.S. women's national team face off against Brazil in the first ever professional women's sporting event at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles on Saturday, April 5th at 2 p.m. Pacific.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil.
I wish you health, physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, and most definitely spiritual.
Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret. But hear me when I say this. Believe in something. Believe in yourself. That, more than anything, is absolutely woman's work.
This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Have you heard the term beige mom before? I had not, but apparently it's been around a couple years. It's used to describe moms who decorate their houses and their children's rooms in beige tones, and they also purchase colorless toys and clothing. And for some reason, the internet masses are outraged by this. Again, I don't necessarily get it, but there is no way in which this is going to harm a kid, according to a psychologist we spoke to, because the kid does see all kinds of colors outside organically. Other experts we talked to said colors don't matter as long as there are variety and diversity in other areas of the kid's life. And don't forget, Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie. Professional cab driver. Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for...
Burbank, California, in the greater Los Angeles Metroplex. John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
How you doing today, Chris?
Hey, John,
love the show, long time listener.
Thanks, buddy.
So I came up with a nickname for Jasmine Crockett while we're insanity. It's Florence Gump.
Florence Gump. So she's like a combination of Florence Nightingale and Forrest Gump.
Correct. Anyway, that was it.
And you know that Forrest Gump in the movie, in the Tom Hanks movie, Forrest Gump, he explains that the reason he's named Forrest is because he is a descendant of the founder of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. Right? Did you know this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a scene in the movie, and they make it good fun with the Klan riding on horseback with torches and ropes and stuff. And him, oh yeah, I'm a descendant. It's just great of the founder of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. And then they turned into a laugh scene. They turned it into a funny thing. It's the history of the Democratic Party. They want to make it fun for everyone. Sure, that's the thing. That's the thing. And Nathan Bedford Forrest and Forrest Gump, the Klan, it's all just good fun.
This is the Chris Plant Show. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10:30. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. A federal judge has dismissed New York City Mayor Eric Adams' corruption case, accepting the Justice Department's request to drop it so Adams could help with President Trump's immigration crackdown. The ruling was made with prejudice, which means charges cannot be brought against Adams down the road. Tesla sales declined 13% the first 3 months of the year. Analysts say the double-digit drop likely due to several things, including an aging lineup, competition from rivals, and a backlash over Musk's political views. The decline came despite deep discounts, zero financing, and other incentives. The man arrested in Dale City last week as the top MS-13 leader on the East Coast was in court Tuesday. Henry Villatoro Santos charged with firearm possession by an illegal alien. Court documents show some of the equipment seized from his home was for use with BBs, not bullets. He's not facing any gang-related charges thus far. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Regency Furniture. Affordable never looks so good.
Big savings are happening right now at Regency Furniture during the Red Tag Savings Event. Save 50% off all furniture. Plus, take an extra 20% off Red Tag items for even more unbeatable deals. Plus, get it off with 24 months no-interest financing. Don't miss out. These deals won't last.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
It's very heavy and slow on the outer loop at the Beltway, beginning near Telegraph Road in Alexandria to the mobile work zone near the Wilson Bridge now, blocking 2 left lanes as they go. On the inner loop, southbound 95 and 495 after 214 Central Avenue, broken down vehicle blocks the right lane and the merge lane delays down from 202 on Route 202 Landover Road. All lanes remain closed between 450 Annapolis Road and the Baltimore-Washington Parkway because of an ongoing accident investigation at 56th Avenue. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny and breezy, high of 60. It's 49 at Reagan National. John Matthews, WMAL News.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at DonorShoes.org.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families.
The fucking Christ.
Learn more at uso.org.
Jesus.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
So let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Keep up to date with the latest in pop culture, music, sports, and news with the Cumulus Podcast Network. You might just become smarter than the internet.
So hopefully you can see that this is not something so scary that you have to do alone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. And give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
WMAL, making sense of social media because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Well, it's true. My friend Jeff said, talking about that if thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill. True, we were always brought up, thou shalt not kill. That was the shorthand. But it's true, there's a difference between killing and murdering, isn't there? Yes, there is. You bet your bottom dollar. Now, we have a great day. Today is Liberation Day. It's Liberation Day. It's President Trump calling it Liberation Day, imposing tariffs on a whole lot of countries. But before I get to that, I tell you what, I want to get to the news media. They're very corrupt. There were elections yesterday in the United States of America, 2 special elections for the House of Representatives in Florida yesterday, and the Republicans won both of them. Now, they don't gain technically any seats in the House of Representatives by winning these 2 House races, but they won. The Democrats really, they were self-immolating over this because they really wanted to win these, very important to win these and get 2 House seats. And then the race in Wisconsin for the state Supreme Court, where they elect members of their state Supreme Court, 7-member state Supreme Court. One left-wing radical woman was the Democrat, and she won yesterday, apparently. And so the Democrats, they already controlled a 4-3 majority in the state Supreme Court. One of their left-wing radicals was stepping down from the court of her own accord. And so the opening was there. And the Democrats, they had George Soros poured in millions of dollars. I played audio yesterday where these frauds and liars like, oh, Elon Musk. And it was her. It's the woman that won, screaming about Elon Musk. Oh, you can't come to Wisconsin and buy a Supreme Court seat, said this Crawford woman who was running for the Supreme Court opening, and she won. And she will become one of the members of the 7 members of the Wisconsin State Supreme Court. And she couldn't be more excited. But we played audio of her yesterday saying you can't come in here and buy, Elon Musk can't come in here and buy a state Supreme Court seat because it's already been bought by George Soros and other left-wing billionaires that poured money in. It's the most expensive statewide Supreme Court seat in the history of the country, $90 million, I think, $90 million. And now, I guess, Justice Crawford with the big lie, you can't come, we've already bought this seat. You can't have Elon Musk come in at the last minute and buy this seat because we've already paid for it.
They don't want to see some outsider, some billionaire come in and try to buy a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, which is, what Elon Musk is trying to do.
Yeah, too late. Because George Soros, communist, anti-American crime lover, he already paid for it. It's bought and paid for. Just amazing stuff. So the news media very, very excited about this. And they declared, the media declared her, Susan Crawford, the big winner early, even though I think with like 5% of the vote or something. I think the Washington Post. I think they declared it, the Democrat, the winner with 0% of the vote in, something like. It wasn't quite 0, but. And radical left-wing extremists at Mother Jones, they'd firebomb your neighborhood. Elon Musk tried to buy Wisconsin's Supreme Court. He lost. To Mother Jones, radical lefties. Susan Crawford's victory means liberals will preserve their majority on the court. We also played a soundbite yesterday of the Democrat leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, who was, why was he involved in the state Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, of all places? He explained that they need to win this Supreme Court seat because they need to gerrymander the state, steal seats in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., so they can make Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House.
There are gerrymandered congressional lines right now in Wisconsin. And as soon as possible, we need to be able to revisit that and have fair lines. The only way for that to be a significant possibility is if you have an enlightened Supreme Court.
When he says enlightened, he means terrorists that firebomb and shoot and destroy because, shall I go down the list again? Just amazing stuff. Yeah, New York Times, very excited. Susan Crawford wins Wisconsin Supreme Court. Now, how are you going to gerrymander? Well, how is he going to get to the Wisconsin Supreme Court? You already have the 4-3 majority, and the woman who's leaving was one of your radical left-wing firebombers. So how is Hakeem Jeffries going to gerrymander the state? He's not in Wisconsin. He's not from Wisconsin. He's never been to Wisconsin. He couldn't find Wisconsin on a map. He's never eaten cheese. And he's like, yeah, we need to gerrymander. What he's saying there, you don't have to read between the lines much. We need to gerrymander, that is, redraw the lines of House seats in Wisconsin so we can steal them, right? That's your Democrat Party. Now let's go to Jonathan Turley, because Jonathan Turley was on the television this morning, the law professor extraordinaire at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And the Democrats need to redistrict the state of Wisconsin. And how do you do that? Well, by stealing a seat on the Supreme Court and having George Soros pour millions in, and then making it about demonizing Elon Musk, who they were in love with and wanted to date days ago when he was the electric car king. But never mind that. Just amazing. Actually, let's go to soundbite number 8. And Elon Musk, who they hate and they used to love, they turn on you like high school girls on drugs. Honestly, Elon Musk was on the television show The Five on the Fox News channel last night. Why is the election of the state Supreme Court in Wisconsin so important?
The reason tonight's elections are so important is that the judge race will decide whether the Wisconsin districts get redrawn. They're going to try to gerrymander Wisconsin to remove 2 Republican seats. And as you know, the House is currently Republican by a razor-thin margin, which means that losing this judge race has a good chance of causing Republicans to lose control of the House.
And that's the goal. It's stealing power. It's corrupting everything on every level, on the state level, on the federal level, national level, on the not just the Congress, not just the State House, but the courts as well. They are an extremely corrupt political party. They call themselves the Democratic Party. They're not democratic at all. Jonathan Turley, this morning on the law professor extraordinaire at George Washington University, someone who deserves respect. And I believe he identifies as a Democrat and has all his life. But every now and then, I mean, it's like, it's a rarity for sure. Jonathan Turley this morning on the left-wing radical Susan Crawford winning the seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
What's interesting, though, is that Crawford is very liberal. So this is a court now that's a little bit out of sync with a purple state. There's a lot of moderates in Wisconsin. I wouldn't call this a moderate Supreme Court. Just recently, the Supreme Court, the day before the election, heard an argument coming from the Wisconsin Supreme Court in which that court really laid down a devastating standard for religious organizations. They said that Catholic charities could not be exempt because they, quite frankly, don't pray enough, that because Catholic charities does not turn away people from other faiths because they don't proselytize. The Wisconsin Supreme Court treated them like Starbucks.
They like their commercial enterprise, commercial business, not afforded the protections of the First Amendment. They don't pray enough. They don't turn people away because Catholics are open and welcoming. And you must be punished for that because the fascists who go around, you see, keying Teslas. You see all the videos of Democrats walking along, scratching the side of Teslas with keys to damage because they're mentally ill and criminally insane and violent. And just want to, hurt because that's what they do. Yeah, because they don't pray enough and they don't turn people away enough. So the Catholics must be punished. Now, I'm a Catholic myself, and I recognize fascists when I see them. And again, it's the Russian playbook, played that yesterday. Whatever they accuse you of being is likely what they are. These justices and the left and the radical left-wing standards and all of that madness.
Many of these justices really raised concern, including people on the justices on the left, and said that's a pretty bad standard. You know, you're going to put the government in a position of determining when you're praying enough, when you're proselytizing enough, instead of looking at why they're doing it because they're the Catholic charities. So you could see a lot more of those cases coming out of Wisconsin.
Could see it because the Democrats, they venue shop and they find radicals and they target these corrupt courts. You know, the venue shopping, judge shopping. We've seen them do it again and again with everything President Trump does. These people are burning our republic to the ground. Jonathan Turley talking about what the Democrats have already done with their 4-3 majority in the state Supreme Court in Wisconsin.
This court was responsible for the loss of 14 seats when it rejected an electoral map. Notably, what it did, by the way, is it threw out the existing standard used by the Wisconsin Supreme Court to allow it to effectively redraw the maps. That allowed for 14 more Democrats to go into the assembly. And the expectation, in fact, all this money is on Crawford voting in the same way to allow for 2 more seats in the House of Representatives to be lost due to redesigned districts.
And that's what Hakeem Jeffries was bragging about, talking out loud about. Isn't he amazing? This is an extremely Jonathan Turley more broadly talking about the state of the Democrat Party and where they are now with their hatred of Elon Musk and the maker of electric cars, the miracle of electric cars.
Democrats are shredding many of the things they believe most fervently about. They're adopting anti-environmental positions, anti-labor positions just to get Musk. And it's really untoward, but also with the rise of political violence on the left, it's very concerning. It's very dangerous. And we're not seeing what we were hoping to see from Democratic leadership denouncing this campaign.
Yeah, Democratic leadership is not denouncing this campaign of violence against Elon Musk. He has declared publicly with a smile of sorts that the death threats he's getting are extraordinary. In the meantime, anything with the word Tesla on it is being firebombed and shot up with rifles. And if you're driving, I read the story yesterday from Frou Frou magazine that a guy drove around Washington, D.C. in somebody else's Tesla that he rented and counted the number of people that flipped him off and cursed him out and threw things at him and the Democrat Party. And then, again, this woman in Boston last night, just walking down the sidewalk, saw a Tesla parked there, grabbed it looked like a cinder block. It was a huge brick and stopped just long enough to smash it through the back window of the just amazing stuff. Your Democrat Party. Yes, sir. Amazing. Now, it is, gosh, I don't have time to get to it right now, but it's mailbag day too. And I have mailbag questions right in front of me, and I apologize. I'm not as good at this as I should be. I keep working on it though. I'm trying to get better and better. We got a lot more guys. I haven't gotten to the Florida. Now the Democrats, Jonathan Turley made clear, as has been made clear by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk was a Democrat not long ago. Jonathan Turley grew up a Democrat. I think he still self-describes as a Democrat, though he may not anymore. The way that he talks about them with their violence and their insanity and all that, he might call himself an independent now. Either way, I have respect for the man because he's a thinking man and a legal scholar and not a radical, which it seems most Democrats have been radicalized. Rank and file Democrats have most, I think, have been radical. The violence, the mob violence, the gang, the anti-Semitism driven by the Democrat Party on campuses and beyond. You know that the all-new Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier has finally arrived, and the new Thunderstorm uses two different technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria. Talking about gobbling up dust and pet stuff and a whole lot more, sucking it out of the air that you breathe, and it helps get rid of any odor. You don't have to buy filters over and over again with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm either. You can hold one in your hand. They're not a piece of furniture. They're only this big. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell, your home, your office, litter boxes, trash cans, cigarette smoke, left-wing protesters. No match for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. And right now, because you hang out with me, you can save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. Put one in your basement, your bedroom, the kitchen, the teenager's room, any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code Chris3, Chris and the number 3, to save $200 on 3 thunderstorms. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Chris3. Yes, sir. I had a lot more coming up. Today. The congressional races in Florida, which Republicans won both of those, and the media is spinning it like it's a loss for the Republicans because they're the filthiest, most corrupt institution in America. And Mailbag Day.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Around-the-clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil. I wish you health, physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, and most definitely spiritual. Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret.
But hear me when I say this. Believe in something. Believe in yourself. That, more than anything, is absolutely women's work. This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Are you listening to this alone right now? If so, are you enjoying your alone time? Or are you craving the time you're going to spend with other people later today, maybe over the weekend? Well, a recent survey put up by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center found that slightly more than half of people said time alone is critical to their mental well-being. Even some people who are very social need this alone time to reset and recharge their so-called social battery. Now, what replenishes that battery is going to look different from person to person. Maybe you need a full night or a weekend to yourself. Maybe it's just a few minutes in the bathroom to wash your hands, take a few deep breaths. If someone does tell you that
making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Fill Our Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, will you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day.
Oh, you fucking assholes. Now what the fuck? The fuck out of my fucking chat, you motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. There you are, Colin. Colin, since you want to fuck with me, there you are, boy. Look at that. There's Colin, everybody. Look at this fucker. Here, let me give a different pic. Look at. There you are, Colin. Is that you, Colin? Colin, is that you missing half them fucking teeth? Look at them fucking ears. Look at the shape of your fucking head. The fuck happened to you, Colin? Huh? Colin, you're about an ugly motherfucker. Holy fuck. So I got me here. They got me. I got ice cream, whipped cream, strawberries, and angel food cake. Basically dessert for breakfast. I haven't had anything to eat. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat this. You fucker. Colin, is that you? Something ain't right doing that shit right there. Something ain't right. Something wrong with you, Rusty. Rusty claiming love. Ain't fucking no love. At least Rusty took my mother's pic down. At least she doesn't have that on her fucking pages anymore. Fucking hypocrite. Oh, you're so funny, Colin. You're just making the whole chat laugh. Oh, you're so funny, Colin. Oh, how many times you been with your squirrel? You look like a fucking squirrel. Why you keep retracting your remarks, Colin? How about we do this? How about I just time your dumb ass out? How's that sound? Go fucking play somewhere else, Colin. You can't do shit, Colin. You're a fucking useless Englishman.
Are you working on the Hill or at a think tank, or are you a young professional desiring?
What is fucking wrong with these motherfuckers? Fucking ignorant. It just fucking stops.
Are you working on the Hill or at a think tank, or are you a young professional desiring a career in American politics? Click right here to learn more about Hillsdale College's part-time MA in government degree and incredibly generous scholarship.
Braddock Road to Gallows Road, more delays on the inner loop from 123 up to the construction north of the toll road, blocking one right lane. Inner loop southbound after 214 Central Avenue, broken down vehicle still blocking the right lane. Now from RealtorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Mostly cloudy and breezy for the remainder of the afternoon, upper 50s to lower 60s, a stray shower or two this evening and into the overnight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, upper 70s to lower 80s with evening storms possible. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rudin in the First Alert Weather Center.
51 in Washington, John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Tomorrow, President Trump will announce sweeping new tariffs against all countries in what he's calling Liberation Day. Yep, Trump's calling tomorrow Liberation Day, while every stockbroker is calling it Inebriation Day.
Boo! They start booing us. So Liberation Day, we're against Liberation Day. We're for Bullwhip Robert Mapplethorpe Day. It's a different thing altogether. What? What's that? Famous Democrat photographer. Well, once again, a very happy Wednesday to you, and welcome back. We remain at 888-630-9625. 9625. I want to update you on this, because we got another Luigi Mangione. He could be a new Democrat Party hero because they're not liberals, they're the left. Completely different ball of wax. But in the meantime, before we get done, I think I'd like to go to a phone call and talk to the nice American people who are wonderful, except for Democrats. Let's go to Sarah, calling from the great state of Illinois, the land of Lincoln. Oh, she just dropped right now. Is that right? Right in front of my very eyes. There you go. Amazing stuff. Let's go to, sorry, Sarah. I said Sarah called in with very happy, upbeat things that have made her happy recently. I wanted to hear from Sarah being happy. Let's go to Mike, calling from Queens, New York. Michael, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I was just reading something that Tom Fitton had posted last night in regards to the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, they had a constitutional amendment on the ballot for strong voter ID, and that garnered about 145,000 more votes than the judge that won. How does that make sense?
That is an interesting. Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, a great American, a friend of mine, friend of the shows, friend of America. Tom Fitton at Judicial Watch are wonderful, and you're right. In Wisconsin, also on the ballot was a ballot initiative making voter ID mandatory in the state of Wisconsin, and it won overwhelmingly. Now, I guess the only way that makes sense, Mike, is if a whole lot of Democrats who voted for the radical left-wing Susan Crawford Judge, if they also voted for voter ID, but that doesn't seem to compute at face value. That doesn't make sense, does it, Michael?
No, the math isn't mathing on that one.
The math is not mathing on that one. You're absolutely right. 100, and Tom Fitton is a nuts and bolts guy, very smart guy, great lawyer, and he plus 145,000 votes for mandatory voter ID in Wisconsin, which is as common sense as eating food every now and then. Obviously, you have voter ID unless you want to have every election be a corrupt election, which the left does, because they're corrupt and they shoot and kill and steal and rob and loot and burn. That's today's Democrat Party, defined by all that. But I had not seen that 145,000 vote differential between Susan Crawford for the Supreme Court and the voter ID. Very curious indeed. I'm very happy that you brought that to my attention. Say again, Mike.
I said, and there was also other things that were brought up in there about irregularities and what have you. It's just this, the same old Democrat playbook. You know, if you, they don't. You know, apparently this Crawford was adamantly against voter ID, but yet 145,000 more people that voted for her voted for that. It's like I said, it just doesn't make sense.
Just doesn't make sense. And if you raise an eyebrow, then the Democrats will come over and key your Tesla and scratch a swastika in it and chase all the Jews off campus.
Absolutely. That's what they do. They're not Americans.
They really aren't. And you're in Queens, New York. Had a lot of you have a lot of interesting political activities in Queens, New York.
Unfortunately, I don't deal with a lot of these Democrats, but you know, they ruined this city. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and I live in Queens now. But this city is shot.
Yeah, Democrats. And your mayor, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, you know, a Democrat and a black guy and in good standing with the Biden administration until he said, hey, too many illegal aliens in New York City. And then what happened, Mike?
Well, then all of a sudden, the same thing had happened with President Trump. They came after him.
The Justice Department came after him, trying to put him in prison for years and years and years because they say he accepted an upgrade on a flight from coach to business class. So they want to put him in prison for years. The left is here, Michael. These people are not liberals. They're not democratic. They're the left. They're leftists.
Absolutely not. They're a bunch of commies.
Yep, that's it. That's the shorthand. Michael, God bless you. You're great. Thank you for the call.
Chris, thank you. Have a great day.
You bet. You bet. Yeah, that's great. Now, let's get back to the crazy Democrats, because I shared with you a story earlier today out of Madera, California. A man was killed inside a Walgreens drugstore in Madera, California, Monday evening, late Monday evening, 9:35 p.m. A man identified by the police as a store employee was shot and killed at the Walgreens. Well, we now have an update from the police because, again, while in New York, we have the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO, and that trial is just getting underway. And the Democrats have turned the killer, Luigi Mangione, the assassin, into a hero. You know, 4 American presidents have been assassinated. 3 of them were Republicans. One of them was John F. Kennedy, and he was assassinated by a communist, or if you prefer, the CIA, the deep state, the permanent bureaucracy. Personally, I think it was Lee Harvey, but he was a communist who married a Soviet woman, Marina Oswald, who came from Severodvinsk in northern Russia on the White Sea, where I have been, to the Soviet-Russian submarine base there. But enough about me. And Marina Oswald got married to another guy later, changed her last name. Good idea. And she's still alive and well, along with the 2 children. I just love to remind people that because we're such a great country. We you know, they didn't do anything wrong. But never mind that. Let's get back to this, because they turned Luigi Mangione, the killer of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, father of 2, assassinated him, stalked him, hunted him, gunned him down. The Democrats have turned him into a sex symbol, just like Joker Tsarnaev, the Boston Marathon bomber, who the Democrats turned into a sex symbol and put him on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. And Luigi Mangione, they all want to date. They want their daughters to date him, and they want their wives to date him. They want to throw your car keys into a fishbowl and do the old swap. Luigi Mangione. But now we've got, and he assassinated, murdered the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, merely because he was CEO of United Healthcare. And the Democrat Party, the left, have declared jihad against the healthcare industry, against the insurance industry, and against successful people and CEOs. And that's why Brian Thompson was murdered in cold blood, assassinated. And he is a literal hero of the Democrat Party, Luigi Mangione, and they want to date him. They talk about his abs. I think his abs will have a great time in prison for the next 100 years. Although the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, has called for the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. And I got to say, we were talking about this at Newsmax yesterday. That could lead a New York jury to find him not guilty in this murder because the Democrat jury in New York, pre-corrupted, may want him loose on the street to kill again. Now, in California, mere hours ago, night before last, an individual walked into a Walgreens, and I raised the specter of this a couple of hours ago, and gunned down a Walgreens employee and killed him, and then opened fire on the rest of the employees, not the customers, but was shooting at the employees, trying to gun down Walgreens employees. Turns out that the killer doesn't even live in Madera, California, doesn't have any ties to Madera, California, but drove into Madera, California from where he lives to target the Walgreens. Now, the Democrats have demonized, vilified big pharma, right, and big insurance and CEOs, leading to the Luigi Mangione targeted killing, the assassination of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Now we've got Narciso Geraldo Fernandez, who opened fire in the Walgreens in California, murdering one employee, trying to murder more. Then he went out to the parking lot, was reloading when the police arrived, the police that the Democrat Party wants to defund. And it's being reported. Who's the news station? Oh, it's ABC, ABC Network, not even the local. But they're doing it online. They're not doing it on their TV show this morning. But it turns out it may be another Luigi Mangione targeting and killing at the Walgreens because the Democrat Party has vilified and demonized pharmacies. Now, around here, they loot them, they sack and plunder, they vandalize them. Why? Because they're pharmacies. And the Democrats have said what they call big pharma. I'm making quotation marks with my fingers uncontrollably. Big pharma has become another villain of the Democrat Party. So here's ABC fake news.
Narciso Gallardo Fernandez seen shooting at the camera just moments after allegedly killing a Walgreens employee. Police say Hernandez went to the parking lot to reload.
There is no relation between Narciso and Eric Velasquez.
Madera Police Chief Gino Tremonte says Narciso drove from Pixley, showing up at the Walgreens off Cleveland Avenue just before closing Monday.
We do know he has a general disdain or grudge against pharmacies, large-scale pharmacies. And by statements made, that is one of the reasons why Walgreens was selected.
Disdain, grudge for pharmacies. Now, gosh, is there a political organization that has fanned the flames of hatred for Elon Musk and Tesla and Donald Trump and for healthcare companies like United Healthcare and for CEOs and for insurance companies? The Democratic Party has demonized the Nazis that they are demonized, and Jews on campuses because Israel is the villain and Hamas is the hero. Hezbollah is the hero. The Houthi rebels are the heroes. The Iranians are the heroes, and the Israelis are the bad guys. And that carries over to Jewish Americans on campuses in the United States. The Democratic Party is doing this. So disdain for, grudge against pharmacies, the Walgreens Corporation. And this young man, Latino man, here's a picture of him. A very nice looking young guy on vacation with a picture where he looks like he's maybe at the Hoover Dam or someplace, and he's on vacation. Looks like a perfectly nice guy. He's been murdered because, I will say it out loud, because the Democratic Party has vilified and demonized everyone having to do with the pharmaceutical industry and pharmacies and the healthcare industry and insurance industry. So they're assassinating people.
The chief also says he does not see a link to the overall healthcare system and that the attack was not inspired by the murder of United Healthcare CEO. The victim, Eric Velasquez, was not a pharmacist at the store.
Just an employee at the store, and he was gunned down by this Democrat. Let's look into whether ABC will not ask whether the murderer is an illegal alien. I can tell you right now he's a Democrat, and he's alive, and now he can become their new Luigi Mangione, because the Democrats vilified All these people, Donald Trump, and he was shot through the ear and nearly had the back of his head blown off. And it was the Southern Poverty Law Center and Rachel Maddow that demonized Congressman Steve Scalise, and then a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer, James Hodgkinson, showed up with a rifle and shot him. Now they're killing healthcare CEOs. They're killing pharmacy employees. Not even a pharmacist, ABC wants you to know. I don't think that's important. The Democratic Party should be banned in this country. That's a little bit of hyperbole. But when are the Democrat leaders going to come out and stand up for decency and for Western values and for the United States and stand up against murderers who become heroes and sex symbols for the Democrat Party, which includes the media? Hey, are you a yo-yo dieter? You know, you diet, you lose weight, but then you gain it all back again, maybe plus a few pounds. Breaking free of your yo-yo diet patterns, so many people have the pattern, is a main reason that doctors created Lean. Lean from Brickhouse Nutrition. It's a supplement. It's not an injection, no shots for you, and you don't need a prescription from your doctor. Lean targets weight loss in 3 powerful and appropriate ways. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels. It helps control appetite and cravings. It helps burn fat by converting fat into energy. That's a great idea. Listen, if you're tired of losing weight and gaining it all back again, Lean was created for you. And let me get you started with Lean. With 20% off when you enter PLANT20 at takelean.com. That's the code PLANT20 at takelean.com. You can thank me later. The statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and is not a substitute or alternative for care from a healthcare provider. Yeah, so we got another one. We got another Luigi Mangione, but I don't think he's a fashion model like the assassin, the murderer that the Democrats love. Honestly, they're going to be wearing T-shirts with John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald on them real soon. This is a real problem in our culture, and the problem is the Democratic Party.
There's only one Chris Plant, The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Hey, y'all. As a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting Wayfair.com. You can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back on the Give Them Lala podcast.
It's very a lot.
You want the headline?
Here is my interview with Vicky Gunvalson. Who did the biggest number on you?
I'm not friends with Chandler anymore, which is fine.
Do you feel like you guys can repair?
No.
Stick to what you know.
Iconic.
Absolutely fantastic. It is like the Super Bowl every episode.
Give Them Lala.
Unhinged, but also amazing TV.
Get ready.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It's what people are talking about.
Did you hear about this? Vanderpump drama hit. Oh, Lord.
It's what people are listening to.
So exciting, so much fun.
Do they have beef?
It's the Cumulus Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Would you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese. Weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
I was talking about Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch earlier. He is not a lawyer. I was just corrected on that. I said they do legal stuff at, of course, at Judicial Watch, as you might imagine. Not a lawyer. Wanted to correct that. Great guy. Doing great work. Let's go to Jim, calling from beautiful Wisconsin. Jimmy, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, Chris. I've got an S on the end of my name. I don't know why it's there like you have an E. I was a poll watcher yesterday in Walworth County, Wisconsin, outside Lake Geneva, part of Lake Geneva, and we got a couple that came in, and they were Elizabeth and Michael O'Donnell. And they had an envelope. You can register to vote at time of voting. They had an envelope with that name on there and an address, and inside that envelope was an electric bill. And they were given a provisional ballot. Well, I blew a head gasket, and I was asked to leave the precinct.
Because you raised a question about using your electric bill as your form of ID to register to vote on Election Day and to vote as a Democrat.
That is correct. That is correct. I had a big Walworth County Sheriff's police officer damn near put cuffs on me.
On you?
I was interrupting an election. On me, yeah, because I was interrupting the due process of an election.
This is what Democrats call election security, and the ID law passed there yesterday.
This is the Chris Plant Show. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11:30. I'm Heather Curtis. People around the world waiting with bated breath for President Trump's tariff announcement today. Mr. Trump writing in all caps on Truth Social this morning, quote, "It's Liberation Day in America." He says America will fight back against countries who've long ripped us off. Economists fear it will lead to a worldwide trade war and recession. Senator Tim Kaine introduced a bill to stop tariffs on Canada, America's longtime ally, from going into effect. The president saying Democrats are making a wild push not to penalize Canada for the sale of large amounts of fentanyl to the U.S. Kaine says only 43 pounds of it went across the Canadian border. After ripping into Canada on Truth Social yesterday, today the president urging 4 Republicans to adhere to Republican values and ideals and join the party in voting down the bill. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by True Green. We're back in the miller's yard who now use True Green. Their lawn started looking like a golf course, and PGA Tour golfers made it their favorite stop. Get a PGA Tour quality lawn for as little as $1 a day at TrueGreen.com. Exclusions apply. See TrueGreen.com for details.
Here's Steve Hirshorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Over to the Fairfax County Parkway, southbound, very heavy and slow from Braddock Road down to the construction near Pope's Head Road in the left lane. At 95 in Virginia southbound, in delays from the Franconia Springfield Parkway down to the Fairfax County Parkway. 395 northbound, the accident that was after Glebe Road before Washington Boulevard just moved over to the shoulder. Very slow on the outer lip of the Beltway from Old Georgetown Road across the Legion Bridge to the work zone before the toll road in the right lane. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Today, partly sunny, breezy, mild, a high near 60. Tonight, scattered showers after midnight, a low 42. Right now, 52 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
You can afford anything, but not everything.
Being or sucks.
You especially cannot afford to miss the Afford Anything podcast, hosted by Paula Pant.
Isn't this obvious?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My baby brother, a father.
Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's disease research program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk with The Vince Show.
This is unheard of in media. Dan Bongino is becoming deputy director of the FBI. I'm taking over on the Dan Bongino Show, which will now be The Vince Show. Just an advanced preview. It's going to be exhilarating. It is a reflection of your response to this program, that we get to take this thing to the next level. These gigantic shows right out the gate. This is going to be so much fun. It's unbelievable.
The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected. WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Ah, yes. Wild world out there, isn't it? Especially those crazy Democrats there. Whack-a-doodle-doo. Hey, it's mailbag. It's mailbag day. It's Wednesday. Hump day in the Clinton household. We don't know where they are right now. Scooping up money from corrupt actors overseas, probably. Where were they recently? They're in Germany. They're in Germany, yeah. Nazis that they are. The word Nazi is like the word "and" with the Democrat Party now. It's everywhere. Everywhere. I haven't had a chance to examine these questions. I really haven't. I've just been too busy with all the crazy news going on, flowing to us. Yeah, another Luigi Mangione. But let me get to the mailbag. From Pat McGroin. McGroin. It's possible that is a fictitious name. Pat McGroin. See? How many Teslas do you think Mike the Lib has keyed? How many Teslas has Mike the Lib keyed? Well, he is a good, dedicated Democrat, and the Democrats, they hate. That's what they do. They hate everything and almost everyone. They, if you're a violent criminal like Luigi Mangione, an assassin of CEO of a healthcare insurance company, then they don't hate you. They want to date you, especially the men want to date you. It's quite remarkable. How many Teslas has Mike the Lib keyed? I've got to tell you.
Oh, these fuckers. So fucking sick of that.
By his place and do what they call a welfare check to make sure that he's well. And not that he's on welfare, but he's a career intelligence officer of the United States intelligence community, Mike the Lib. But how many, have you seen the videos? There are videos all over Al Gore's amazing internet, and some of them appear on TV of Democrats. And these Teslas have cameras all over them, built in, I guess, when you buy them. I've never even sat in a Tesla, much less driven one, nor do I own one. But there are a lot of videos of Democrats, and they're all Democrats, walking along the side of Teslas with keys and just scratching the heck out of the paint on the Teslas. Now, the Cybertruck, are those Cybertrucks painted, or do they just have metal? They're just metal. I don't know. But when Democrats blow them up and firebomb them, they seem to fare quite well. Now, how many is Mike the Lib? We're concerned about Mike the Lib. We hope that Mike the Lib is fine and in good health and still being wrong about everything all the time. Every time he has a thought, it's wrong because he's a Democrat. He doesn't even have to speak. He sits there silently and he's wrong in silence, sitting in his car by himself with a surgical mask on. Whatever he's thinking is wrong. He's Mike the Lib. How many is he keyed? I'm going to take a look at the videos, and I'm going to see if we got any videos from around here. And I'm going to take a look, see if Mike the Lib might be, because it certainly could be. Can't rule it out. Thank you, Pat McGroin. Nacho Quiles asks, we need DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, to investigate the Panhandler Radio and the rest of the indoctrination media, even C-SPAN. Do you think that would happen? Well, I've got to say, there are Republicans in the House of Representatives right now that have introduced legislation that would defund the $500 million or so from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which is the parent Nazi umbrella over National Panhandler Radio and the Panhandler Broadcasting System. I think, who should fund PBS and NPR? Sesame Street. because we made them famous, and with our taxpayer dollars. Jim Henson, University of Maryland, and the Kermit the Frog and all that stuff. They've got so much money that they could fund NPR and they could fund PBS, National Panhandler Radio, and the Panhandler Broadcasting Corporation. I do think C-SPAN is in a different bucket, but if they do get any tax dollars, I'm not sure if they do or not. If they do get any tax dollars, then I think they should be defunded too. And they really, it's not like I feel bitterly about NPR or even PBS. I just don't think my tax dollars should be funding them. They're very successful operations that I know. I live in a neighborhood where there have been lots and lots of NPR and PBS people, and they live in bigger houses and drive nicer cars and yada yada for doing lesser work and not being concerned with what is actually true. But never mind that. Should be defunded. And yes, Nacho Quiles, I do believe that Doge should take a look at the money and make that part of the cost-saving effort, which the Democrats are dead set against. Boy, are they against it. They want to burn money in piles in front of the Capitol. They need to bring in bulldozers to push around the smoldering piles of our cash that the Democrats have stolen. I'm sorry, taxed us for. And then they spread around to their pals. Like Stacey Abrams in Georgia was given $2 billion by the Biden administration, the loser of the Georgia governor's race. And they said, well, maybe she's an environmentalist. No reason to think that. So they gave her $2 billion. People need to go to prison over this is theft. It's criminal. It's abuse of power, abuse of tax dollars. It's an abuse of government. It's an abuse of everything. And if it's not illegal, then our laws are a donkey show. So let's keep that in mind. But Nacho Quiles, so we need Doge to investigate NPR and the rest of the indoctrination media. I really, really want it to happen. I've been calling for NPR to be defunded for decades. Even before I started doing radio, I was like, why do we fund? This is crazy. That's nuts. But yes, we need to stop funding the It's a propaganda network for the Democrat Party and the left. But the Democrat Party is the left now. By the way, now the story out of the Walgreens in California is starting to get some attention, and the killer and the murderer, the assassin of Walgreens employees, the psychopath who's a Democrat. And where did he go to college in California? He was going to college, one of the California universities. The Democrats are going to turn him into a hero too, because look, the left has murdered 100 million people in about 100 years, more than any gang of murderers in the history of the world. Genghis Khan, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin. They honestly, UC Merced, went to UC Merced, University of California, Merced. Sounds very nice, doesn't it? And then he became a crazed big pharma. That's a Democrat label. He hates big pharma. And so he's murdering people. Oh, and he went and he murdered the Walgreens employee, not a pharmacist, just a Walgreens employee, a young man trying to make his way in the world, murdered by the Democratic Party. Make no mistake about it. And their demonization of everyone and everything. How many people do you guys plan to kill? Do you have an answer to that question? They never know until they're done, do they? Isn't that amazing? But it's now getting attention. And, he went and he killed the guy. And then he opened fire on the other employees there. And he went outside, and there were women outside the Walgreens who are customers. And he told them, this is not about you. This is not about you, he told them. That's what he said. And then he got into his car and he was reloading his handgun. And that's when the police got there that the Democrats want to defund. This isn't about you, he said. This isn't about you. To the women outside, the police talked to the women. They said the killer came out. He's a Democrat, and he killed because the Democrat Party made him crazy. And, well, he was already crazy. They unionized crazy in the United States. Yeah, this isn't about you. And then he got into his car because the patriarchy, he got a nice car. Whenever he's driving a Tesla, and he was reloading when the police got there. Isn't about you. All right, back to the mailbag. I apologize. Harrison Fairbanks. Harrison Fairbanks. That's a name. You should be a senator. Harrison Fairbanks. Trump said he'd end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours if he won the election. That's what Harrison Fairbanks says. Trump said he'd end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours if he won the election. He also said all hell would break loose in the Middle East if the hostages weren't released by noon a few Saturdays ago. None have happened. Has he become an empty promise, a paper tiger? It's perfectly legitimate to ask these questions. Absolutely legitimate. And I know the question has been put to his wonderful spokeswoman at the White House. And let me say that, when you're making promises as a politician, you've got to, and President Trump, he's not the most political president in the world. But he did say, I have to look because he said it a number of different times and he never goes off the script. He probably said it differently 8 different times. What do you do about the war in Ukraine? Now, he has gotten to work on ending the war in Ukraine. The war is not ended. You have a communist on one side, Vlad the Impaler Putin, and you have a Ukrainian leader, Volodymyr Zelensky, on the other side, who's not exactly a hero, a champion of peace himself. But I bet he's got boats and houses and stuff, all the billions that have poured in there. But listen, Harrison Fairbanks, it's perfectly legitimate to raise the question and to put it to President Trump. And he has been, unlike Joe Biden and the Democrats, working on getting the Russians and the Ukrainians to the table. In fact, President Trump announced he's going to Saudi Arabia. He certainly didn't end the war in 24 hours. That's true. He said all hell will break loose, or words to that effect, if the hostages aren't released. A number of the hostages were released quite rapidly, Americans and Israelis. They're still holding dead people hostage. They're such filthy psychopaths. The Israelis have continued, and I think the president should probably defer to Netanyahu and the Israelis on a lot of this. But Harrison Fairbanks, has he become an empty promise, a paper tiger? I would say no, because you make campaign promises, and you should. If I were president, or running for president, I think I would be very cautious and precise in my use of the English language in ways that a lot of people aren't, and often including President Trump. And I knew when he said, I'm going to end this, and it's like, well, you can't end a war in 24 hours just because you became president of the United States. And President Trump should perhaps be more cautious in his use of language, but the process to end the war is underway. Process to end Hamas and now the Houthis in Yemen underway. The troglodytes will always be there. But Harrison Fairbanks, your questions are legitimate questions, and they have been put to President Trump a little bit, but should be put again. Weldon Cooper asks, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? What's the bravest thing you've ever done? And I think maybe the first thing that came to mind reading this right now was marrying my first wife. Maybe that was the dumbest thing. That wasn't the bravest thing, the dumbest thing. I don't know. I don't think of myself as being an especially brave person. I know people that are really brave, people that have jumped out of airplanes at night over Syria and gone into Al-Qaeda hotbeds and rescued hostages. I consider those people to be extremely brave. And with a standard like that, I've jumped out of 3 perfectly good airplanes. I've flown fighter jets. I've ridden submarines. I took a mini sub below the ice cap on Antarctica shortly after the Titanic mini-sub crashed and everybody sank. I don't think of myself as being brave because I set the bar very high, as I just described. The bravest thing I've ever done. I don't, I've done things that some people would say, well, I wouldn't do that, like jumping out of airplanes and flying fighter jets and pulling 7.5 Gs, pulling a loop while I'm piloting the plane and stuff. It's not going to work from troglodytes. It's not going to build us. I'm not going to say that I've done anything particularly brave. We've all been through this, it's just not going to go. And we should set the bar high. I'm sitting and racking my brain, brave things. I think most of the stuff I do is pretty normal, pretty ordinary stuff that I've done in my life. Pretty normal, pretty ordinary. I did just mock my first. I was 23 years old. I was, I think I can say my brain had not fully formed. Yeah. And recently, I let my former wife, I have my loving wife today, my best girl. But my previous wife went on a
3872-8444 for the USA. What do you think happened yesterday during those April Fool's Day elections in Wisconsin and in Florida? How do you assess the big picture? As always, you can join us to share your thoughts on that subject and so much more. Glad you're here with me today. We've got a lot to talk about. Cory Booker goes for a full day without peeing, he claims, although my guess is he probably was wearing a diaper, as he does a big filibuster about nothing. Nobody, even to this moment, knows exactly what Cory Booker was talking about except for himself for over 24 hours, wasting time in the United States Senate. We'll also take a look at the media's ridiculous obsession with trying to bring illegal aliens back from El Salvador. They want MS-13 members to come back to the United States. It's only fair. Please bring them back. Please bring them back. No, we're not bringing them back. In fact, we're sending them back to their home country, letting them deal with these guys. So that continues. We'll have some more data on that, to defeat all of these ridiculous left-wing talking points that are coming out. And a close look at this Wisconsin election. What happened in Wisconsin yesterday? You and I have been talking about this in the lead up to the election, about the importance of it, on why it was so important for Brad Schemmel to get the job of a Supreme Court justice in the state of Wisconsin, to give conservatives, that would be constitutionalists, that would be people who believe in the rule of law, power over the Supreme Court in Wisconsin. And the reason, as we discussed, is because of just how critical it is to prevent Democrats from expanding their cheating operations, from expanding, allowing voting to become less secure, to stop them from stealing congressional seats by redrawing the maps in such a way that Republicans would lose their place in the House. The stakes are quite clear when you look at the impact that this election is going to have potentially going into the future, what the radical court in Wisconsin wants to do. The radical left already controls the court, and thanks to George Soros and company, will continue to control the court for the foreseeable future. So a lot of battles in Wisconsin that, yes, will affect the rest of the country going forward. But why is it that Wisconsin voters, in the end, went with the lefty judge? Why did they go with Susan Crawford? Why didn't the conversation you and I have been having have an impact on preventing Susan Crawford's rise? Well, let's get into the details here. First, I just want to, I'll pull the lens back and just say there's a bunch of good news across the country. The other elections all went our way. Republicans winning in both of those critical Florida districts, albeit by smaller margins than President Trump won last year. But honestly, very hard you shouldn't overread what any of that means, including the size of the margins there, because this is an off-year, off-cycle election that's going to attract a very specific subset of voters in general who are going to show up to that. So I wouldn't overread this, although the media wants to. They're claiming that the margins mean that the whole world's turning against Trump, even ruby red Florida districts. They're making too much out of that right now. And also, there's all sorts of complicated politics that are going into Randy Fine's victory in Florida 6. Not every Republican likes him. There's a lot of infighting going on there. So that could also color your understanding of how those results came in. But the good news ultimately for the country is 2 Republicans get to hold on to 2 Republican seats and continue to have a margin over the Democrats in the United States House of Representatives. Good. Then we go to Wisconsin. Where we saw the voters in the state of Wisconsin say enthusiastically and overwhelmingly, yes, we want a a constitutional amendment that declares that voter ID is required in the state of Wisconsin. Voter ID is a requirement now, according to the people of Wisconsin, voting for its inclusion in the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin. Wonderful. Now, you should know, as we talk about this, that everybody supports voter ID. I don't care what stupid, elite, left-wing Democrats may be blabbering about, and voter ID is racist, and blah, blah, blah. In fact, you may have noticed you're not hearing that with the same frequency and volume lately, and that's because even the most sinister Democrats can read the polls. Voters wildly support voter ID. This is a fight that you won. You won this fight, and you won it a long time ago. Voter ID is the preference of voters in every party, in every state, all across the country. Everywhere. According to Gallup, which measured this in October of last year, among Republicans, 98% of Republicans say that voter ID should be required to vote. Not a surprise, 98%. Independents, 84% of independents say the same thing. You should require a voter ID.